Hey y'all, it's your girl Nadia.
And it's me, Coach T.
And we are two average people. Sorry, y'all, I felt like singing today.
Hey, that's what it is. Beautiful.
So I really want to talk to y'all. Okay. I want this to like be me talking to my friend. Because I've been struggling with something. That is the want for more, the need for progress, but also being content with where you are and grateful for what you have.
All right.
Okay. So I'm not saying you should ever become complacent or, you should always strive to be better, right? There's value. I value that. But there's also times where you need to sit back and say, you know what? I've built a lot. I've come a long way. I've learned a lot. But how do I enjoy that and want more at the same time? I often find myself rushing for more just to find out that, wait a minute, I didn't really want that.
So what does that feel like from your vantage point?
It almost feels like not regret, but it feels like I didn't sit down and think everything all the way through before I made a decision. Right? So I find myself feeling stuck to make a decision because I feel like I've made some decisions. I'm like, damn, I shouldn't have done. Now that I wanted it, and now that I have it, I don't want this part of it, or I don't want that part of it, or
this part of or that part spoils the overall.
Correct. So maybe I I don't want to say regret, but maybe it's like, well, maybe you didn't take time to just be grateful for what you had. And so this is been my dilemma lately. Okay, what does more look like? What does the next step look like? What does progress look like? Definitely something I value, but also, I'm gonna turn.
All right, let's talk.
Let's talk. But also, I'm getting comfortable, y'all. Also, stopping to smell the roses, right?
Yeah, that's a big one.
And it sometimes it can, it can bring up some anxiety, it can bring up some uncertainty, but I find it difficult to navigate that sometimes. And I lately in particular have been struggling with that.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm sure a lot of you guys listening can relate to this, that it is tricky to know, okay, how do I move forward? And maybe that's when, it's you, they say you either win or you learn, right? And so maybe all these different steps that I'm taking to get better or to progress is necessary, but maybe I'm looking at it wrong. Like it's not, oh, you shouldn't have done that. More like, no, this was your next stepping stone, but you're going to keep moving forward,
Yeah.
So y'all, I talk to him about it all the time. So that's why I'm trying to be transparent about this because it's really been a struggle for me lately. I don't know.
For me, being content has always been my mark for success. If I can find contentment in what I'm doing and where I am, I can move forward from there, because the next step I can always be content in, and the next step after that. And then when I look back, I'm like, man, you made 1,000 steps and you're in a whole different place and position than you were before. That's my version of me stopping and smelling the roses. And because I'm always content, I can always make a home, the proverbial home, in whatever thought process I'm working with. And that allows me to be comfy for a while, but still lay the groundwork for my next steps. However, there's a transient property to that thought process that most, I think, would find untenable. If you're a workaholic, that makes perfect sense to you.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense? If you're a workaholic type of person, that makes perfect sense to you. Yeah, I go to work. I feel comfy. I feel comfy. I feel confident. I know what to expect. I get it done. I get my rewards, but I'm also doing a little extra to set myself up for the next promotion or whatever the case may be, getting the next client, getting the next deal. This is something I can be content with in the moment. However, setting myself up for the next goal is exactly what I'm going to do because that's what you do. However, a lot of the times we do that to the detriment of other areas in life that we shouldn't be neglecting.
Hence the workaholic.
Hence the workaholic part.
That's always working. That's
the only thing you are doing.
But you're not doing anything else.
You're not doing anything else.
You stop to look at those other
things. And those other things are necessary. You got to do those things.
Right.
Or else you'll find yourself. I remember watching Undercover Boss. And I forget what company it was. It doesn't really matter. But one of the CEOs was talking about how he raised this company up from nothing to a multi-million-dollar international corporation that literally lost his entire family. Like his wife divorced him. His kids don't talk to him. He didn't build a relationship, so he doesn't even feel like he can reach out and say anything, even though that's not what he really wanted. That's what happened because that's all he was genuinely focused on in the moment. And I remember thinking to myself, damn, like you mean to tell me you built this whole corporation employing thousands of people, but didn't manage your house? How did you do that?
Yeah.
How did you do Why did you do that? But I think that goes exactly to what you're talking about here is, how do you be content and want more?
How do you be content and want more? And I think the word content is a funny word because some people will look at this and say, no, you should never be content.
Yeah.
You should always want more. And so I use that word lightly because I'm in a place of, okay, well, how am I grateful and want more? How do I do well with what I have, but also want more?
Yeah.
You know how they say God won't bless you with you have to manage a little before he blesses you with the big stuff, with a lot, right? And so it's that, well, how do I appreciate the little or what I have and then still, want the bigger things in life without feeling like, oh, I'm going to make a horrible decision, right? So I asked myself that question and I always like to hear from you guys in some way. And you guys have been great with the comments and tuning in and all that because it's a real, real struggle.
Yes.
And I always think until you are 6 feet under, until you've transitioned, there's always more to do. You never, ever really get to the place where you can just stop. Even millionaires are still working. And I look at them sometimes, I'm like, but you're like a millionaire. Why are you working? Why you've made it. You're rich. There's nothing you can't buy.
More money, more problems.
More money, more problems. There's nothing you can't buy, so what are you doing? But again, there's always progress. There's always room to be better. There's always room to grow, even though they have so much money and they can buy more, right? And so this is the question that I'm leaving with you guys. Because I don't have the answers.
Yeah. This is the household discussion. We are bringing it to you because y'all nosy and you sometimes have good ideas. So help us out.
Help us out.
Use your nosiness for good.
Use your nosiness for good.
And join our conversation.
And join this conversation because I really, really want to know where to go and how do you go? How do you move forward? Okay. You have the house of your dreams. Does that mean you want a bigger house? Should you get a bigger house? What if you have more kids and you need somewhere to put them? I don't know. Should you make it work?
Yeah. These are all great questions.
Are all the questions that I ask myself and get stuck trying to figure out, okay, no, you need to enjoy this part you need to enjoy this house or you need to enjoy this car or whatever before you go out buying, the Lamborghinis or whatever your dream car is.
Yeah.
So it's helped me answer this question, y'all. This is a different podcast because this is I'm leaving y'all with the question for y'all to help me answer podcast.
Yeah.
So yes, what else do you have to say on the topic, baby?
The only other thing I wanted to add, and this is a thought process that I think I'm still working through myself, and that is how much the word ambition plays into the word contentment. Like, meaning, to me, is the opposite of contentment ambition?
Is the opposite of contentment
in this context
ambition?
Like, is the thought process of being ambitious keeping you from contentment, and not you, Nadia, but the general us, as people? And or is contentment something that we should strive for in spite of our ambition?
Well, some people say you should never strive to be content. And you should always strive to be better than content.
And the thing is, contentment is a superpower if you know how to use it. So to me, the person who says that may have never been content, may be so caught up in their thought process of being ambitious that they don't see the power of contentment. Like, as I got older, I realized there was a lot of power in my words and in my presence. So I no longer fight with you. People. I don't fight with people, because if I'm going to fight with you, okay, then I just remove myself, remove my words, and remove my presence. And then what happens is,
really does.
I do. And then what happens is you go, ooh, you know who'd be good to talk about this? Tobari. He'd be really good to talk about this, because full well. But then when you come back and we can talk about it, now we can actually talk about it, because you value the presence, you value what's there, and you value what's being said. So because some people don't value contentment does not strip contentment of the power that it actually has over our lives. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, but that's all subjective, isn't it? That's the way I see the world.
Subjective.
That's not necessarily objective. That's not how everyone sees the world. Part. So the real question is being ambitious keeping you from contentment, or should contentment be something you strive for, even if you are ambitious, and even though you are, even through your ambition?
I like that question. I really, really, really do. Yep. I don't know. For once, I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't have anything to say about it because I don't know.
These some grown people problems right here.
Grown people problems. Exactly. Right.
These grown up problems. Yeah. You got to really think through this, because if you don't, you'll be that CEO who raises an amazing company, but did not raise a family.
Yikes.
And regrets it.
That's the worst moment of silence for that one. Yeah. All right. All right, y'all. All right. We really want to hear from y'all. We're going to keep this one short and sweet, because we really want to get feedback, right? And maybe, just maybe, when you guys comment, we're going to come back and talk about what you guys commented on.
I would love to talk about your I would love to hear your words. The more you give us,
the more we'll talk about it. All right, maybe we'll even go live.
Hey, let's talk about it.
So we'll talk to you guys soon. In our merch. Yep. All right, y'all. Talk to you soon. Remember, we're better together. Peace. In the Middle East.
But yeah, though, peace in the Middle East. For sure. Yeah, be peaceful.
Yeah.
Please, for the love of God, be peaceful. Or Allah, whoever, be peaceful.